Hey everybody, it's Barry Perry from Tampa, Florida, and today I am not in Tampa, Florida. I am in New York, New York, the greatest city on earth. I'm in the Hudson Yards Hell's Kitchen area around 8th Avenue. I'm staying at the New Yorker Hotel because I was speaking in a conference there for B&H Electronics. That's actually been recorded and it's on YouTube, so if you want to see that talk, just go to B&H Electronics' channel here on YouTube and you can find it. So I purposely scheduled my flight back to Tampa to be late today, and I figured I would get up, I'd pack all my stuff, I'd put it in storage there at the hotel, and then I'd walk around for a few hours, take my Fuji X100V and get some street photography. It really can't be described how wonderful it is to shoot on the streets of New York. It is, I mean, every 5 feet there's a picture, and it doesn't matter what you're into. Do you like people? Do you like architecture? Do you like graffiti? It doesn't matter. It's all here. There is no better shooting environment on the face of the planet than the city of New York. So let's walk around, let's take some pictures, and let's see what we can get. If architecture is your thing, you are going to find no shortage of it on the streets of New York. It's hard not to take pictures of all the buildings as you're walking around, even if it's just for your own memories. You know, I took this one the very first night that I arrived, and I'm there outside my hotel, and how can you not take a picture of the Empire State Building? I'm standing outside of Ladder 21. So Ladder 21 has, I think, 9 plaques on the outside wall for the 9 firefighters who lost their lives in the performance of their duty on September 11th. When you're walking around a city and you're looking for pictures to take, remember to take advantage of the culture of the city. Don't just look for shapes and things to take pictures of. Look for stories to tell and things that you can learn. You know, take pictures of plaques. You know, years later, when you look back on your trip to that city, you'll wish that you had taken a picture of that plaque that tells you what that building is for, when it was built, or who built it. And especially if you come across a place like Ladder 21, take a minute, take some good pictures, but also just, I don't know, hang out, look around, appreciate what the city has to offer you. I can't stress this enough. When you're walking around and you're doing street photography in a city, you are really there to please yourself first. So try not to think about what you've seen on YouTube or what you might have seen on my channel, other things like that, but just think about what you like and capture that. The less you try to shoot because you're trying to please other people, and the more you shoot simply because you're trying to please yourself, the more satisfaction you will get out of your work. For example, I like shapes. You know, I like weird shapes. I have a picture on my wall of a bunch of bikes that I took when I was in New York about 7 years ago. And so when I see all these bikes and all these crisscross patterns and the circles and the squares and the lines, I like it. It's like an abstract art to me. So I'm going to take a picture of it. I also like boxes. I like graffiti. You know, I just like the juxtaposition of different elements. So I'm going to shoot a lot of pictures of this. And for me, things like this can be extravagant, like this chandelier that is inside the lobby of the New Yorker, or it can be something as simple as a couple of padlocks hanging on a fence. And it may be that no one else likes this picture of padlocks hanging on a fence, but I like it. And that's all that really matters. So one of the fun things to do when you're in New York City, if you've never been here before, I've been here a bunch, is to count the cliches. You know, there's all these cliches about New York City, right? And it's nice to see which ones of them are true and which ones are not so true. So I can help you out a little bit there. First of all, the cliche that all New Yorkers are rude and, well, New Yorkers is absolutely not true. Almost everybody you come in contact with will be nice and friendly and just like somebody in your hometown. The cliche that it's noisy, true, but it depends on where you are. Like if you're standing around a tourist area or around a main business district like I am now, then yeah, there's a lot of activity and there's a lot of people. Behind me back over there, you can see how busy it is. The idea that it's just wall-to-wall people, again, it depends on where you are. The more hotels and businesses there are in the area, the more it's going to be crowded on the street. The idea that it's dirty, well, yeah, I mean, it's a major city, so there's going to be some dirt, but it's not horrible. I mean, they do what they can to clean it up, and it's such an enjoyable experience to be here that you really don't mind. One of my favorite cliches is that there's always a siren going off somewhere. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. If you're in a busy area, like I am right now, every 5 seconds you will hear a siren of some sort from a police car, traffic, fire department, something along those lines. One of the new things that's going to become a cliche for New York is that you can't walk 10 feet without smelling marijuana. They passed marijuana legislation in New York City recently. So whereas you used to walk down and there'd be people in a cloud of smoke standing outside smoking a cigarette, now they're standing outside smoking a joint. So that's kind of interesting, and it certainly adds to the unique smell of the city. So I'm standing at an intersection. I am at 7th and West 35th, and I'm trying to get a particular shot. What I really want to do is get a shot of a bicycle messenger or just someone on a bicycle and get a feel for being on a bike in the city. So I want to show motion, but I need to freeze the rider. It's a tricky shot to get. So what I'm doing is I've got my shutter speed set at about a 30th of a second. Now I'm just standing here. I've got my camera set to continuous focus. So I lock focus on them, and then I track the camera left to right as they move. And at some point I pull the trigger. And if you're tracking well and trying to stay with them, you might be able to get the bike in focus, but the background blurry. And it's a great way to show a lot of motion in your shot. I honestly don't know if I'm going to get the shot, so let's stand here for a few minutes and see what happens. Okay, I don't want to get my hopes up, but I think I got a shot. I think I got a shot. It looks good in the camera, and I won't know for sure until I get it back home and look at it close, but I think I may have got a shot. But here's the thing, you get a great shot, and then 5 seconds later you miss one. So I get a guy on a scooter or bicycle, looks good, might be great. I walk a half a block, and a Hasidic Jew man, Jewish man with the ringlets and everything, is on a one-wheeled scooter just tooling down the street. Oh, if I could have gotten that the way I wanted to get it, that would have been great. But I saw it and it was too late and I couldn't get it in time. No matter what you get, there's always something that you miss. That's why the hunt is so much fun. Now I'm sitting outside the legendary Macy's at Herald Square. This is the Thanksgiving parade ends every year. It's pretty cold out here, especially for a boy from Florida. I just saw a man walk by screaming at the top of his lungs, "I don't play! I don't play!" Which was maybe the highlight of my entire trip to New York. You gotta love this city. One of the things that you do when you go out doing street photography is you just find things. I never go out with a purpose. I never go out saying, I'm looking for this to photograph. I just go out and see what I find. And when I came here to Herald Square, I wasn't expecting to find anything because it's full of tourists, it's a cafe area. And then there were pigeons everywhere. And I thought, well, if you're in New York, you need to take a picture of a pigeon, right? So I just got my camera low to the ground and panned around until I found a picture of a pigeon. It may not be the best picture of a pigeon, but again, when you're doing street photography, especially in a place that you've never been before, you also want to shoot for yourself. It is your family album of your visit. So one shot is for you, for photography, for artistic stuff, and the other shot is just for the memory. So that I will remember years from now when I look at these pictures that I walked into Herald Square and that I saw all these pigeons. It's the little things from your trip and your vacation that bring back the memories and help you really remember everything that happened.